Hello, this is Kat at the Upcycled Cat channel. Welcome. This is the channel where we like to take old stuff that we find at the bins and at the Goodwill and upcycle them into works of art. Today, I'm going to take this old, gorgeous, cute jacket that I've never worn, and I'm going to add some really sparkly stuff to it. I'm just going to lay this over at least half of the jacket and just see what happens. Let's have some creative fun. I bought this really cute jacket, wow, maybe about 4 years ago. And I've never worn it, not once. And I just can't seem to get rid of it because I think it's so beautiful. It's just not my style. You know what my style is? My style is bling. My style is sparkly. My style is glittery. So I am going to bling this thing out. It's Lemongrass Studio. But it's a beautiful, thick, textured fabric. This beautiful jacket is going to get an upgrade. And usually I start from the back panel. When I am upcycling a jean jacket, I like to start with the back panel. But because I'm not really going to be focused on a back panel this time, I'm going to start from the front. What I want to do with this is I want to just wrap it in a really beautiful, glittery, sparkly mesh fabric that lets the background show through. And I have two different fabrics that I want to use on this. You've seen this fabric in other projects, and actually my last project is what gave me the idea for this. Is I just could never wear this. I love it, but it's not me. I'm sure you all have clothes that are like that, right? I think this is going to turn out just looking absolutely beautiful. And then the other fabric that I want to use, and I have used small pieces of this in another project a while back, and look at how beautiful that matches up. That's just a perfect color match with the purple. And I'm thinking maybe something like this down here at the bottom would look really beautiful. I'm very excited about this project. I think it could end up just looking so spectacular. And look at that. Oh my God. Sparkle alert. Sparkle alert. Oh, good Lord. How beautiful is that? I have cut out the piece that I am going to lay down on this side. And I just laid the fabric down and took my scissor and just cut around it until I got it to where I wanted it to be. Now you can also lay down wax paper or some other type of paper and make a template for yourself and then use that. What I'm going to do next is I am just going to make another copy of this. I'm going to put them face to face so that when I cut it out, it will be perfect for this other side. Now you'll notice that I didn't cut it completely the same way. I left a little bit more space around the edges, and this will just give me a little bit of cushion in case the other side is a bit bigger or somehow it's not completely symmetrical to this side, which happens a lot. Now this might be a little bit hard to see because I put down this white backing. And the reason I put down the white backing is because sometimes the glue can grab what's underneath. And if it grabs the purple, it will ruin the outcome. Now this is HeatnBond for light colors. And I simply made an outline of it. So I am just going to heat press this HeatnBond backing, and I don't need to do it for too long because it's going to get pressed down again when I adhere it to the jacket. And that's how it looks. And then I just need to tear these off and iron it on. And now I'll do the same with the other side. Now I should tell you that you can completely do this with fabric glue. You just need to do a test on this fabric somewhere on the inside where it won't be seen, and that fabric. I would suggest gluing a tiny bit of that fabric somewhere inside and then seeing if either one of those gets stained. But I'm using HeatnBond because I really like this stuff. It works every single time. It never stains anything. So I've got this ready to go, and it looks a little bit weird. What I've done here is I've cut out a little hole area where the button goes, and now everything is ready to get heat bonded in place. I know that's not an actual verb. And that is looking really, really beautiful. Look at that. Look at how beautiful it's looking so far. Look at how gorgeous that looks. That is beautiful. Next, I'm going to do this lower edge here. It's really cute lower edge on the bottom, and I'm going to do it all the way around the coat. And I'm going to use, look what I found. I am going to use my new roll of HeatnBond for light fabrics. This is 4 feet. Or I'm sorry, this is 4 yards that I found at, I think it was the crafting store. About $3 a yard. Cheapest way to buy HeatnBond that I have found so far. And I'm simply going to repeat the process that I did on these ones. I now have the templates cut out for both of the bottoms here. And I've decided that I am going to leave this very edge trimming alone and just do the inside sections like that. So I've got both sides ready to go. Next, I'm going to glue those down. Put a cloth over to protect it. I'm not going to lay these down for too long, because I just want to get them stuck on each other enough that I can lay it down and glue it permanently to the coat. And I peel them away. I peel the cloth away each time I go over the cloth with the iron, because I just don't want that glue sticking to this area. And that looks good. Now I'm going to cut those out and iron those on. I have got this cut out and I'm ready to lay it in place. I'm just going to peel back the HeatnBond. Lay that down the way I want it. The iron is hot. And let's lay this in place. Now remember to peel it away after you heat it the first time, because when you're using HeatnBond on something this delicate, the glue is going to come through and get stuck on this side. And I know I probably say that a lot, but you do not want to use your project because you've got your white piece of fabric completely adhered to your project. That would not be a good thing. And I just keep doing that over and over until I am happy with how it is glued on. And let it cool down, and then do the fingernail test all the way around just to make sure that the edges are completely adhered. And wow, that's gorgeous. And now I'm going to do the other side and the back. I have the back piece laid out, cut out, ready to go. If you don't have a long enough a piece of the HeatnBond, just feel free to use two pieces. You don't need to overlap them. Just lay them right next to each other. Okay, and now we peel that back off and we're ready to iron it down onto the jacket. Oh, before I do that though, I need to trim the edges, and that's a really easy way to make sure that you're getting the exact size that you want, is just to cut the fabric a little bit bigger than the template and then trim it so that you've got a really nice edge. And it should fit perfectly into place. Okay, and now that's ready to lay down as soon as I clean up this mess. I love peeling that off. I don't know why. It's just fun. Okay, and I'm going to try and match up the seams. And now let's glue this in place permanently and forever, because once you iron this in place, it is never, ever going to come off. See how it's getting really sticky because I I didn't pull that off immediately. Good chance of it getting adhered to it forever. You just got to pay attention to the delicate fabric. That dry and see how that looks, and I think that's gorgeous, just gorgeous. I have cut out the fabric and I've heat and bonded it for each of these sides, and there are little pockets right here, so I'm just going to bring it right up to the pocket. I'm just going to go for it. See if I can get this off without it taking a million years. I've noticed a trick to doing it is to push it over toward the paper and then it peels. It starts rolling back on itself, and then you can grab an edge and peel it. And make sure you peel it away after each pressing, just so that this doesn't get stuck. Okay, and then the edges always seem to need extra help. I'm not sure why. Okay, that's looking good. And now I'm going to do the other side. Well, I'm really bummed. I cut this piece out for the back center panel. I laid it down, I applied HeatnBond, pulled it up, and look what it has done. Look at all that tiny little, I don't know if you can see it or not, tiny, tiny little dark threads are now embedded in this, and it's ruined in my opinion. I mean, look at that. What a mess. There's some cat hair in there. Oh man, I really need a better system than what I'm using right now, because this is just so frustrating. If you guys have any suggestions for what I could be using instead of this, yeah, if you guys know anything that really works, let me know in the comments. Okay, I've cut out another piece and I'm going to try this again. So I've got the HeatnBond. I have my beautiful fabric right here. And I'm going to try using another piece of HeatnBond to secure it in place while protecting the material. And let's see how that does. And if you're going to try this, make sure that you're using the non-stick side, the stick that never had any glue on it. Wow, look at how clean that is. No tiny little threads or cat hair on it. Okay, so I just need to keep really big pieces like this for ironing purposes instead of saving them for templates. Okay, I have my new piece, which is cat hair free. And when I do this, unfortunately, some of the little sparklies come off. The pros and cons of gluing instead of sewing. I don't know if this is working any better than the cloth. I mean, it's keeping it from picking up lint, but I think it's pulling off more of these little things than the cloth stuff did. Okay, the back is on, and that's looking very nice. The bottom we did earlier, and that's looking gorgeous. I laid these two panels in, and I think that's looking so beautiful. And then I'm thinking about switching out the buttons for these. Can you see these? Look at how beautiful those are. I think these buttons would work way better than these ones. And I'm not even sure if these are the original buttons. But I'm going to switch those out just as soon as I buy more of these. And I found these at Joann's Fabrics. So now that this panel is done, I've decided I want to add the same fabric to the two side panels. So I've got those cut out and ready to go. Now with this one, the middle panel, I laid down an entire sheet of HeatnBond over it and then just ironed the whole thing on. With this, I'm going to do a different approach. I'm actually going to use the HeatnBond Ultra Hold iron-on adhesive, which comes in a roll like this. And what I'm going to do is just add it to the sides like this. So it will be the same treatment that we used on these pieces, where we tacked down the sides, but we left the center area free. So this center area isn't glued down. And the reason that I'm going to do that on this side is because when you use HeatnBond, it adds this really, this thickness, this stiffness to the coat. And since this is the part of the coat that starts wrapping around the body, I don't want it to have any added thickness. I want it to be able to wrap around the body in a very natural way, like it does right now. Yikes, I can feel the heat. Careful with my fingers. Just gonna lay it down where I want it. Also, I decided that I wanted to keep these seams free. So I am going to come right up to this seam edge. So that will continue to be free. You'll be able to see that like we did on the bottoms here. And I think that will look really beautiful. And I'm making sure that I don't get my iron on any of these beautiful fabrics because they've got lots of melty things on them. We'll see how that works. This is all trial and error for me. And more importantly, I'm having fun. Because what's the point in being creative if it's not going to be any fun? And if I mess up, I mess up. And I learned something from it. And generally with art jackets, when you mess up, you can simply cover that up with something else. Now that these are all securely in place, I'm going to wait for them to dry. The two sides have now been attached, and I think they look really nice. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I post videos every Sundays and Wednesdays. And I hope you have a wonderfully creative week. Thanks, and see you next time.